Yes, we have read about August Comte in yesterday's class. I have started recording the class, right? If you just recollect it, we have studied about Auguste Comte. We have seen that Auguste Comte is father of sociology. He has coined the word sociology in the year 1838, right? And we have also seen different laws of human progress. That was theological stage, metaphysical, and positivism stage. Then we have discussed regarding uh, hierarchy of social sciences, maths, astronomy, physics, biology, and sociology at the top. If you remember, if you can recollect it, right? Then we have discussed regarding he has given he has told about social statics and social hierarchy. Today we will be discussing about Herbert Spencer. Herbert Spencer is one of the founding father of sociology. He's an Englishman, that is, he's from Britain, and contemporary of Auguste Comte. Contributed several key ideas to the field of sociology. Like Auguste Comte, he was trying to establish a relationship between sociology as a science of society. Spencer had come in contact with the Comte's ideas, but he did not accept them. Instead, he brought about a shift in the study of society. Sociology is based on evolutionary doctrine and analogic organic analogy. If you remember, we have when we were discussing regarding the definition of Herbert Spencer, I have explained you regarding organic analogy. So if you see here, uh, Herbert Spencer is an English man who was contemporary of Comte. He sociology as a science of society. Mainly, he wanted to focus on the evolutionary doctrine and the organic analogy. He was born in 1820 and died in 1930s. He was from a middle class family in Derby, England on 27th April. His father was George Spencer, was a schoolmaster. He is and his whole family were staunch non-conformist and were individualistic in outlook. Spencer was the eldest of 9 children and ఓన్లీ వన్ టు సర్వైవ్ ఇంటూ అడల్ట్హుడ్. ఆ రోజుల్లో చాలా తక్కువ మంది సర్వైవ్ అయ్యేవాళ్ళు. సో అమాంగ్ ది 9 children he was the only one in his family as a kid to them they could survive. This was perhaps one of the reasons why he advocated the idea of survival of the fittest. So, if we see survival of the fittest is the concept which was actually given by Charles Darwin, which explains about in the theory of evolution. మనం స్కూల్ డేస్లో చదువుకున్నాం ఇది సర్వైవల్ ఆఫ్ ది ఫిట్టెస్ట్ గురించి. Spencer never went to conventional school but was taught at home by his father and uncle. It is general, there is nothing to explain, so I'm just reading out. Wherever it is necessary, I'll just explain it. He went to he went to some small private schools, but only for a short period. According to his autobiography, his training in mathematics was the best. In spite of not receiving a systematic training in other subjects like natural sciences, literature, history, he wrote outstanding treatises on biology and psychology. He has never went to the school, but He was educated in the house itself by his father and uncle, but he got expertised himself in biology and psychology. If we see, we have read about Auguste Comte, which he has published a book called Social Statistics in 1850. Even his first book, Social Statics, that is Herbert Spencer also wrote a book called Social Static, which was well received in intellectual world. In this book, he presented the core ideas of sociological theory. So, as when the Spencer's book was published, the term social static made some thinkers accuse Spencer as plagiarism. That is, he has copied the ideas from the Comte. Plagiarism, everyone is aware, right? Plagiarism is nothing but when we copy something from others and when we don't refer their name in our book, then that is called as plagiarism. So many of them have blamed Herbert Spencer, saying that the social static word or the ideas were actually copied from Auguste Comte. But Spencer pointed out that terms were his own, as he had merely heard the name of Auguste Comte and not his ideas. Also, he stated that originally the title of the book was demostatic, right? Originally he gave the book name as demostatic, then when while publishing it he has given the name called social statics. This book published in the year called 1850, right? Just now we have seen that beside others, Spencer was influenced by Charles Darwin's book, that is, The Origin of Species. He deserved a lot of his ideas regarding evolution of Darwin. However, the Spencer stated that he was the first one to discover founding father of the basic ideas of natural selection and survival of the fittest. Spencer also advocated the principle of laissez faire or free market, which was popularized by the English economist. He reached the peak of the popularity in 1882 when the when he visited United States of America. However, at the end of this age, he died as a sad man because he believed that his life work has not achieved its goal as much as he expected. See, whatever it is there in this slide, have pasted in this picture. Natural selection, right? Natural selection and survival of the fittest, which was explained by Charles Darwin in The Origin of Species in 1859. So the same thing, like for our clear understanding, I have took this from the Google. Natural selection, that is survival of the fittest. We all are aware of this. How actually the giraffe neck has been elaborated. When the tree leaves were not reachable, when they were unable to eat, then the neck of the giraffe has stretched. ఎస్ వి ఆల్ ఆర్ మనం చదువుకున్నాం స్కూల్ డేస్లో చదువుకున్నాం ఎట్లా జిరాఫ్ నెక్ ఎందుకు ఎలాబరేట్ అయ్యింది అని అంటే బతకాల అంటే వీ హ్యావ్ టు రీచ్ ద ఫుడ్ వాట్ ఎవర్ ఈజ్ రిక్వైర్డ్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు రీచ్ అవుట్ దాట్ సో ఇట్ స్టార్టెడ్ స్ట్రెచింగ్ ఇట్స్ నెక్ సర్వైవ్ when things around you die and you remain alive. Fitness, any adoption which enhances survival. That is, that can be strength, immunity, mental ability, right? Which make us to blend, to adjust to the surroundings. So this was the concept which was given by Charles Darwin, and this was adopted by Herbert Spencer. Right, these are the different books which was written by Herbert Spencer, that is Social Statics, The Study of Sociology, principles of sociology are dominated by the ideas of evolution. Spencer believed that throughout all times there actually has been social evolution. We, from a simple to a uniform or homogeneous structure to a complex or multiform or heterogeneous. See, మనకి ఎప్పుడైనా కూడా ఒక సింగిల్ సెల్ నుంచి a human being or an organism has been formed. For example, a sperm and a ova. These are single cells. When they combine, we can see that the complex things like a baby has been formed from a simple cells in the even in the society also we see that from a simple homogeneous we all know that సేమ్ గా ఏదైతే ఉంటుందో దాంట్లో నుంచి మనము ఏదైతే చూస్తామో ఒక కాంప్లెక్స్ థింగ్స్ ఆర్ అ heterogeneous form of development has emerged in the society. For example, if you take an rural area or tribal area people, they think similarly. When it comes to uh, modern era or to urban centers, we can see that the urban people lifestyle differs from one person to another person. The way of thinking is different, the way of living is different, culture is different. So, according to Herbert Spencer, what he says is everything in the society has been evolved from a simple, uniform, or homogeneous structure to a complex, multiform, or a heterogeneous one in this society. Spencer has influenced deeply by Charles Darwin's book, Origin of Species. It has brought a revolutionary change in understanding of how life evolved on the earth from a simple unicellular organism to a multicellular complex organism. Just now I have given you an example of a formation of a baby in the human beings themselves. Yes, human beings, we ourselves is an example from a simple unicellular organisms we have developed into a multicellular complex organ. Herbert Spencer proceed to apply in his investigation of all fields of knowledge his ideas of social evolution in comparing human society with an organism. Herbert Spencer always compared a society with an organism. సమాజాన్ని ఒక ఆర్గానిజం తో కంపేర్ చేశారు విచ్ ఈస్ ఎసెన్షియల్లీ వాట్ ఇట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ ఆర్గానిక్ అనాలజీ. Herbert Spencer, however, noted the difference between biological organism and a society. He maintained that a society as an entity is something more than and other than an organism. Right? Society is completely different from an organism. Even though human organisms, individuals are members of it. It is total system of the elements of social organization and their interdependent functions. It is a super organic entity, an organic entity over the above the level of organism. See, society is a group of individuals. Though it is a group of individuals, he says that we have a clear cut differentiation between, or he compares a society with an human organism, that is with a different with an individuals, and he says that whatever the uh, whatever the systems are there in an social organization, all the systems are interdependent in functioning. సో ఫర్ దిస్ ఏదైతే ఇంటర్డిపెండెంట్ అవుతూ ఉంటాయో సిస్టంలో దాన్ని ఏమంటారు ఆయన అంటే సూపర్ ఆర్గానిక్ ఎంటిటీ అని అంటారు. ఐ థింక్ ఐ మైట్ హావ్ గివెన్ ఐ హావ్ గివెన్ డయాగ్రామ్ హియర్. One second. Right. Following this, Spencer accepted the ideas that society was more than a collective name of number of individuals. That is, it is not just collection of several individuals, but distinct entity. The whole is more than its parts. Thus, a house is more than a mere collection of bricks, wood, and a stone. It involves a certain ordering of the parts. We will see what it is actually. See, human body. This is what he speaks about. Each and every organ has its own function, right? It has its own unique features, and it will be working according to the system, right? Liver does its own function. Liver ki dani function daniki untundi. Gallbladder will be doing its own function. Digestive system has its own function. Lungs will be doing its own function, and we have heart. But altogether, if we see, each and every organ is interdependent on each other. ఒకదానికి ఒకటి కనెక్ట్ అయి ఉంటుంది. దాని పని అది చేసుకుంటూ వేరే పార్ట్స్ కి కూడా అది ఫంక్షనింగ్ లో హెల్ప్ చేస్తూ ఉంటుంది. సో దట్ ఈస్ వాట్ హీ సేస్. మియర్లీ అ హౌస్. హియర్ హీ హాస్ గివెన్ అన్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ that number of individuals, collective name for the number of individuals, that is, it is not just the collection of several individuals, but it is a distinct entity, right? Everything, whatever is there, it has its own function. For the well organized, if a body has to function in a systematic way or without any problem, then the functioning of the body will be properly done when everything is interdependent and interconnected with each other. So this is another picture where actually he explains about whatever we have seen in other slides. The same thing is there with the help of a picture in this. He compares the human body with the society. ఒక సమాజంని హ్యూమన్ బాడీతో కంపేర్ చేస్తున్నాడు హెర్బర్ట్ స్పెన్సర్. Every part of a body has its function to keep it alive. For example, take an outer structure. Whatever hands has its own function to do, legs has its own function to do, head has or neck has its own function to do. So everything has its own function to do, but everything is connected. Then only we are called as human beings. ఒక్క దగ్గర కాళ్ళు, ఒక దగ్గర చేతులు, ఒక దగ్గర ముఖం ఉంటే దాన్ని హ్యూమన్ బీయింగ్స్ అనం మనము. ఎప్పుడైతే అన్ని కనెక్టెడ్ గా ఉంటుందో, ఎప్పుడైతే మొత్తం ఇంటర్ కనెక్టెడ్ ఇంటర్ డిపెండెన్సీ ఉంటుందో, దాన్ని హ్యూమన్ బీయింగ్ అని అంటున్నాం. ది సేమ్ థింగ్, ఎవ్రీ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ది బాడీ హ్యాస్ ఫంక్షన్ టు కీప్ ఇట్ అలైవ్. The human body grows and develops, right? Human body, how it grows and develops is, if the metabolism is inside the body is good, then only a healthy human being can grow and develop in this society. All the parts of the body has link into a big system. This helps the body to fight with the disease and function properly. When we have a good metabolism, then only we can fight with the diseases and be a healthy person. He compares whatever we have seen here. He has said the same thing with the society also. సమాజంలో కూడా ఇవే ఉంటాయి. ఏంటి అది అంటే, every part of the society helps to keep society going. Example, family helps by upbringing the next generation, right? We have different social institutions. All the social institutions has its own work, and every social institution in the society is interconnected and interdependent on each other. Societies gradually develop and change, right? We have seen there is a lots of change in the society, and there is also a development process which is taking place in the society. All parts of the society work together and depend on each other. They are interdependent. right? Family, education sector, political sector, uh, different sectors, different social institutions are interdependent on each other. Society has mechanisms to deal with the problems such as police and the legal system. This helps the society to function properly, right? Like there are different rules and regulations in the society which are important for the safety of individuals in this society, right? So this is an important concept whenever we are writing about Herbert Spencer. Without writing about organic analogy, Herbert Spencer is not complete, right? And it is a very easy concept where he says that we generally compares a human body with a society, right? He speaks about evolution, the same thing. He always spoke about evolution. Evolution was one of the most exciting ideas of 19th century. Its most influential sponsor was Charles Darwin. Now, Darwin developed the concept of evolution in his book Origin of Species in 1859. He applied the principle of origin to the social world and called it as social evolution. హర్బర్ట్ స్పెన్సర్ ఏం చేశాడు? దీన్ని సోషల్ వరల్డ్కి అంటే సమాజంకి ఆ, పెట్టి దాని గురించి చదివాడు, రైట్? అధ్యయనం చేశాడు. సో దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ social evolution. He saw social evolution as a set of stages through which all the stages moved from simple to a complex, and from a homogeneous to a heterogeneous form of living in this society. The term evolution comes from the Latin word that is evolve. Evolve means nothing but it is to develop. మన డెవలప్మెంట్ ఏదైతే ఉంటుందో and to unfold it. Closely corresponding to the Sanskrit word vikas. Evolution literally means gradual unfolding or unrolling. It is spontaneous but not automatic. Whatever is evolving, it is spontaneous, but it is not happening automatically in this society. It applies to the continuous change that takes place, especially in the social structure. We can see that society is changing in its social structure. For example, we have reached to moon, right? Chandrayaan 3. It is also a part of study where we have excavated whatever is happening, or it is a form of development in the society where we will be knowing what is actually there in the moon. Means of social evolution. This is the same thing. Spencer's theory of evolution. The Spencer's theory of evolution, as L.A. Coser pointed out, evolutionary principle. The law of evolution constituted the very basic Spencerism. Spencerian interpretation relate to the evolution of general theory of evolution. In his book First Principles in 1862, we get his views about the first theory and information of interpretation about the second theory available in the sociological treatise. See, here nothing is there. If we see regarding their books, whatever the books which was written by Herbert Spencer, in the first principles అన్నది కూడా ఆయన బుక్, ఆయన ఆ బుక్ ని పబ్లిష్ చేసింది 1862లో. Then the second theory of him, it was the second was the study of sociology and the principles of the sociology. These are the different books which was written by Herbert Spencer. He has explained regarding the evolution of laws of evolution. Same thing, whatever was there in the previous slides about Herbert Spencer. That was regarding Charles Darwin. Evolution of societies. ఇప్పటి వరకు మనం ఈ స్లైడ్స్ లో మొత్తం చూసింది డార్విన్ ఎవల్యూషన్ గురించి చూసాం, రైట్? డార్విన్ ఏం చెప్పాడు ఎవల్యూషన్ గురించి? ద సేమ్ కాన్సెప్ట్స్ ఆర్ టేకెన్ బై హెర్బర్ట్ స్పెన్సర్ అండ్ ఇన్కార్పొరేటెడ్ ఇంటూ ఈస్ స్టడీస్. ది Spencer sought two classificatory systems of society related to his thesis of social evolution. The first thesis states that process of social evolution, societies move from simple to a various levels of compound on the basis of degree of composition. Right? If you see, whatever the development has taken place in the society, it was from a simple to a complex society. According to him, simple societies give rise to compound societies. Aggregate of compound societies gives rise to double compound societies. The aggregate of some double compound societies gives rise to triple compound societies. If you see, we can take an example of tribal society as a simple societies. After simple societies, we can see the rural societies, then we can come to urban societies, then we are into a cosmopolitan communities right now. So like this he has differentiated some మన సొసైటీ ఏదైతే ఉందో సింపుల్ లైఫ్ నుంచి కాంప్లెక్స్ లైఫ్ లోకి వెళ్తారు. సింపుల్, కాంపౌండ్, డబుల్ కాంపౌండ్, ట్రిపుల్ కాంపౌండ్. These are the actual words which were given by Herbert Spencer. According to Spencer, simple societies consist of families. A compound societies consists of families unified into clans. When families are united, right, it is called as clans. Double compound societies consist of clans united into tribes, and triple compound societies such as uh, our own have tribes brought together form states or nations, right? ఫస్ట్ ఫ్యామిలీ అంటారు, ఫ్యామిలీ నుంచి క్లాన్ వస్తుంది, క్లాన్ నుంచి ట్రైబ్ వస్తుంది, ట్రైబ్ తర్వాత ఏదైతే ఉందో మన నేషన్, మొత్తం మన నేషన్ ని ఏదైతే చదువుతామో దాట్ విల్ కమ్ అండర్ అవర్ ట్రిపుల్ కాంపౌండ్ సొసైటీస్. అండ్ ఆల్సో ఇన్ ద సెకండ్ క్లాసిఫికేటరీ థియరీ explains about military and industrial societies. Military society is a type in which predominant organization is offensive and defensive military action. Such society has following characteristics. మిలిటరీ సొసైటీస్లో ఏం క్యారెక్టరిస్టిక్స్ ఉంటాయంటే దే ఆర్ మోస్ట్లీ హోమోజీనియస్ ఇన్ నేచర్. హ్యూమన్ బీయింగ్స్ ఇన్ such societies are remarked as compulsory cooperation. There exists is a highly centralized pattern of authority and social control. A set of myths and beliefs reaffirm a hierarchical nature of society. Life is marked rigorous discipline, close identity between public and private lives. Military societies is nothing but it is related to the homogeneous form of living. We can give an example of military society is villages. In the villages we see that there is a lots of cooperation in the society within the people living in the village, right? And ఒక సెంట్రలైజ్డ్ ప్యాటర్న్ ఉంటుంది. దే ఆర్ మోస్ట్లీ కంట్రోల్డ్. వాట్ ఎవర్ ద డిసిజన్స్ ఆర్ టేకెన్ బై అ గ్రూప్ ఆఫ్ పీపుల్, that will be followed by all the people in the society, in the villages. Industrial society is one in which military activities and organization is peripheral to the society. The greater part of society concentrates on human production and welfare. The characteristics of such societies are voluntary cooperation, firm recognition of the people's personal rights, separation of economic realm from the political control of the government, and growth of free association and institutions. Right? This comes under our urban societies. Uh, where we can see that in urban societies we have voluntary organizations on whatever the people wants to do, they have full freedom to do according to their uh, knowledge or according to their different cultural backgrounds, right? They have separate economic system is separate, political system is separate, and the government is separate, and they have many associations are there. Whichever association the person wants to join, and they are free to join. There is no compulsion, because in the urban centers we can see that heterogeneous people live in the urban centers, right? So this is regarding our Herbert Spencer. Okay, so with this we have completed with Herbert Spencer. So I think I'll end my class here. We will do in the next class, we will be doing about Emile Durkheim. Any doubts?
No, ma'am. Karl Marx also there, no, ma'am.
Karl Marx is also there, Max Weber is also there, ma'am. And
Yeah.
we are going to read about five sociological thinkers. That is, we have read about Auguste Comte, we have read about Herbert Spencer today's class. We will be reading about Emile Durkheim, Karl Marx, and Max Weber.